Welcome back to Grand Slam Sports. My name, Jason Hodge, over on the desk, Charles Foster and Jackson Strasburger. Today we begin with the Final Four. The games begin tomorrow. All 4 1 seeds making the Final Four for the first time since 2008 and the second time in the history of the NCAA tournament. But we begin today with Florida and Auburn, 2 SEC schools facing off once more in the Final Four. Charles, Jackson, your thoughts on this ball game?
The matchup of the GSS brackets. I want to say that every single of the top 3 Grand Slam Sports brackets have either Florida or Auburn to take it home. So this match is going to be pretty big, and I'm really excited for this one. I personally have Florida taking this one, but it's going to be a really close game. Jackson?
Absolutely. This is what we wanted. This is the greatest basketball game we'll get all season. They played previous. Florida took it by 9. I think we have a great chance of seeing another game be close just like that one was. You have some great players. Walton Clayton Jr. averaging 18.1 and Janai Broome going just a little under 19 points a game. You're going to see a lot of offense, and it's just going to be who can win this game outside of the superstars. We talk about Walter Clayton, we talk about Broome. It's who's going to be the number 2 scorer for each team and who's going to lead that.
And I'm sorry, continue.
Yeah, sorry. I was going to say I agree with what Jackson just said, and I think the big thing for Auburn is if their guard play can show up. Because Auburn, obviously, they have Janai Broome, there at the big, but can, Tahad Pettiford, Miles Kelly show up in a big game like this? Because Florida, they have the height advantage. They have the 2 bigs in the center, and it's just going to be very hard to get down there, down low with Janai Broome. So these guards are going to have to make some shots.
And if we look at Florida, this is a team that has gotten themselves in holes pretty early in the matchups. And that's been the biggest, what if is if they get in a deficit behind Auburn, can they get out of it last time? Because if there was not the man by the name of Walter Clayton Jr., they would not be in this tournament today. But this is what we like to see. Honestly, people, the ones that made the brackets are like, oh, this tournament's all chalk, 1 versus 1 seed. These are the 4 best teams in the nation that we're about to see, and I think that these are 2 of the best ones. This is going to be one of the great matchups. Both of them are very even, both offensively and defensively. And we're also going to be seeing, no matter what, a new head coach winning a national championship for the first time. This is going to be fun. I'm really excited. I got Gators in this one. Jackson, who you got?
Yeah, so people said this didn't have madness in it. This March Madness was boring, didn't have this excitement. And they're kind of right that earlier in here. But now we have the 4 best teams. We don't have a 12 seed who's just going to get blown out by Auburn this year. We don't have these lower seeds that aren't going to make a game. We have a great game that will be close to the final buzzer. And I think Auburn takes it. I think Janai Broome is too good. I think that you have people like Baker Mazzara who can just kind of run this game and lead the Tigers to the win.
And see, I know that Auburn is the number 1 overall seed in this tournament, but Florida has been arguably the hottest team heading in this tournament. They won the SEC tournament. They beat Auburn at Auburn back in February, 90-81, behind Walter Clayton Jr., and that's why I agree. I think Florida has the ball players to win this game. The Gators are going to chomp their way to the championship game on Monday. The other Final Four games, though, the number 1 offense versus the number 1 defense in the entire NCAA, Houston and Duke. This one's bound to be a great game. Guys, Cougars, Blue Devils, what are you thinking?
Number 1 offense, number 1 defense. That's the storyline. That's really all you need to know at this point. You got Cooper Flagg, one of the number 1 overall pick in this year's draft, versus a defense that we have not seen since the last Houston defense. This is going to be a great matchup, and it really is going to be the what is basketball in the 2025 years. Is this defense wins championship, or is it the new era of offense wins championship? And I think that this game right here is going to be proof for whatever side of that argument.
Yeah, I think my decision's clear since I have had Duke in every single game this year, and I still will keep going Duke. I think Houston has failed me too many times in the past. I didn't expect them to get here. I'm going to say that. I expected them to lose to Gonzaga or around there. But they made it, and that's enough. That's really good for them. But their road ends here tonight. Cooper Flagg and Con Knipple, or tomorrow, Con Knipple and Flagg will dominate this game.
And I think the thing for Houston is their names aren't as known as Duke. I mean, Duke, obviously, you have Cooper Flagg, you have Con Knipple, but with Houston, your main scorer is L.J. Cryer. Outside of that, Jawan Roberts, Miles Uzan, you don't really have much scoring option-wise. Obviously, their offense did just enough to get them in the Final Four, but can they sustain that against Duke, who we saw Duke's defense shut down Alabama, and that is very hard to do.
And Alabama is one of those teams, though, that you also got to you can give Duke some credit, but you also got to realize that Alabama is exactly what we talked about. We talked about it last week. Alabama is one of those teams that put up 113 on you and then put up 70. I mean, they just can't stay consistent. So even if Duke, so there's some games where there's a possibility Duke could go out there with their hands behind their backs and they'd still win because Alabama's shooting is that poor. They're going against a team that scoring is a little bit consistent. You know what you're going to get out of Houston's offense. And now it's kind of, can they stop Cooper Flagg? can they get him in the paint and not allow him to get these good opportunities that he's been so good at creating? If they can do that, I do believe that Houston has a really good chance of taking this one home, but I don't believe that they can do it. Give me Duke.
Yeah, as I said, I'm taking Duke. You mentioned LJ Cryer. He has 15.4 on 41% from the field, 42 from three. You didn't mention Emmanuel Sharp. He's the guy I look to be their second scorer, going 12.7, about 43% from the field, 42 from three. You still got this lot of three-point shooting, a lot of consistency coming out of their scorers. But after those two, it's a big drop-off. You lose scoring. You have it. And then you go to the other side. You have three players who are going in the draft this year, top 15, that are freshmen. And you have other two in Sion James and Tyrese Proctor who have been here, who have done that and know what it takes to win. This team is a veteran. It's a mix of veteran, mix of freshmen, mix of greatness. And I think Duke can take it.
Yeah, Proctor's also a big name for me because Tyrese Proctor has been, very important to the Duke team the last few seasons. If he can step up behind Knipple, behind Cooper Flagg, I'm also going to be taking Duke in a clean sweep of all of us taking Duke to win this game and head to the national championship because I just think they have just enough to get over the hump against this Houston defense. But guys, we picked our two winners, but who do you see winning the national championship?
Give me the Gators. I've been Gators since day one. I stand by the Gators. They're my bracket. I truly do believe in this Gators team, and I do think that they're going to take home the national championship this year.
Yeah, no, I like the Gators. I think they're a fantastic team. They've shown some inconsistency in this so far, and that's why I see them maybe even losing to Auburn, and that's why officially I can see Duke beating both Auburn and Florida.
I'm going to be taking the Gators. Chomp, chomp, like Charles said, the Gators just have what it takes. They have Walter Clayton. They have the two bigs. They are just like that. They are the most complete team. They are the hottest team. And hot, well, that wins in March. So give me the Gators to beat Duke in the national championship. But speaking of some other trophies, this right here is the new one, the Crown Tournament. That one is taking place right now in Las Vegas. And guys, the Crown, it's a new tournament, first year of its implementation. What do you guys think this is doing for the NCAA?
I think it is interesting. I think it's 50-50 because the Crown Tournament is a bunch of NIT rejects or rejecting the NIT because they're not good enough to be in March Madness, but they don't want to be in the NIT, so they make their own tournament thinking it makes them look better. And I'm going to be 100% honest with you, it doesn't. I think it's a weak move. I think that you don't want to be in the NIT, cool. And I do think it's a good opportunity. $300,000 in NIL money is pretty nice for the winner. And I do think that, I'm not going to hate on it. It's more basketball. I don't think any of us are going to complain about more basketball. But I do not think that it's this major thing. I think it's just a weak move by programs that don't want to be associated with the NIT.
Yeah, I don't think it makes much difference to me. I haven't paid attention to it at all. I looked at the bracket yesterday while preparing for this. And the teams in there, they're teams you know. You look at, who was it? Butler made it here from Indianapolis, but it wasn't really anything special to me. I wasn't going to watch the games, wasn't interested in it. It's just some more basketball if you're more interested in seeing who's going to be, maybe next year you see some younger guys come up.
Well, think about Butler and think about 4 of the other teams that made this tournament. 5 of the 16 teams coming into it had a losing regular season record. So, what meaning does the season really have if you have teams who have a losing record that can play for a meaningful trophy and for money?
Nothing. That's my biggest thing right here. You look at some of these teams, and half of these are irrelevant. Boise State, Nebraska, UCF, Villanova. No one cares. Get them out of here. No one wants to watch those games. And that's the problem is $300,000 of NIL money that you are currently putting on the line for teams that went 13-19. You mean to tell me that I can spend 30 games and go negative by 6 and still win $300,000? I think I played the wrong sports. It's ridiculous.
All you have to do is play some more extra basketball, and be bad. You can be bad in the regular season as long as you're bad at the end, or good at the end of the season. You get money, and you're getting money for playing extra games that you probably shouldn't be playing anyway. I just don't see a reason for it. I don't see much of a reason for the NIT either. But I think just adding more and more tournaments is just an excuse to get worse and worse teams to play. Well,
see, the thing with the NIT to me is more meaningful because you have teams that won their conference title in the regular season but didn't win their conference title in the postseason bracket that actually get a chance to play some postseason basketball. Some of the smaller conferences, some of those teams that deserve it more than some other ones.
Yeah, I rock with the NIT. I think it's good because it's the non-Power 4 schools, really. Yeah. And the non-16 seeds. This is for those schools that did not make March Madness but could have. And I do like the NIT. I think it's good. Like we said, schools like Chattanooga that never would have had a chance. So we're going to see a little bit more about that. But talking about having a chance, we're going to talk about some baseball coming up right next here on Grand Slam Sports.
Time to talk some baseball, and we have a new baseball bat that's going on in the league right now called the Torpedo bat. Here you see Jazz Chisholm using it, obviously Yankees fan, very happy with these bats as they hit 9 home runs off these bats in the first 3 games. Guys, we're seeing a new bat here in the MLB. What are we thinking of these new Torpedo bats?
No, I'm joking. I think that they're a pretty good thing because they're legal. I mean, the biggest thing is people are, oh, they're illegal because the Yankees. I mean, the Yankees went against the Brewers, who were throwing absolute meatballs. I mean, it was like a pasta fest out there, which is meatball, meatball, meatball. I mean, they gave up 10 runs to the Royals, and people complaining that it was the bats. So, I mean, the biggest thing for me is I don't think it's a problem. And Jazz Chisholm, he took to Twitter, and he explained it well. He basically said that the bat barrel is moved. There's no more extra wood. There's no more anything like that. It's for the hitters that kind of hit a little bit more inside, a little bit more wrist power. They're going to be able to take the ball farther. Instead of those hitters with the wrist, normally you see them, those are the base hitters, the Luis Arias, the Nico Horners. And now they're using those torpedo bats to actually generate power. I like it. It's legal. It's a disadvantage at the top of the bat because if they hit like a normal human being, they're just going to line out. So I do think that it's a good change. I do not think it's illegal, and the Yankees just happened to put up a good game. I do not believe it's the torpedo bats that are caused.
Yeah, I don't think the bats are anything different. I think we have to look at the Brewers pitching. We knew it wasn't going to be great coming in. They lose Woodruff. They lose Corbin Burns in the past few years. They're just running out of this. They used to have one of the best pitching staffs in the league. Now losing their top pitchers, Nestor Cortez and Freddie Peralta, are not a 1-2 pitcher anymore. And now you look at some players who are using the torpedo bat and struggling. Lindor, a guy who usually is a very good hitter, is having 100 average with 100 slugging and 20 at-bats. Look at David Schneider. Maybe not the best hitter, but doesn't have a hit yet. Dansby Swanson is batting .222 and 36 at-bats. Jose Trevino is batting .214 and 14 at-bats. It's not changing everything. It's not making you a good hitter. It's just like steroids. Steroids don't make you a good hitter. It's how you use it, and some of these people are using it right, like Bellinger, like Jazz Chisholm. Others, like Trevino, are not.
I want to compare the bat to steroids because steroids are vastly illegal in the MLB. But I get what you mean, though. Like it is an improvement for a play style. It allows those people that do not hit like everyone else to get power in their specific batting stance. And like you said, Francisco Lindor, who does hit like everyone else, thinks that this torpedo bat's to save all, do all. And you're seeing that it's not working for him. He's going to have to change up his batting stance. Just go back to the basic bat, bro. You're borderline MVP. I do not know why he's trying to change it up.
See, I'm on the same wavelength as you guys. I think these bats has no real meaning. All it is, like you said, is moving the mass down a few inches and just allowing hitters that can't usually get power behind the bat. I like it. As a Yankee fan, obviously, I mean, they hit a lot of home runs off of it, so hopefully that continues. It didn't against Arizona, unfortunately. But the Yankees, and we'll see, I'm sure we'll see more players beginning to use those as the upcoming weeks come to try to get more power off of the bats. But we're also seeing these bats used in new stadiums. 2 minor league stadiums being used right now at Sutter Health Park and George M. Steinbrenner Field with the Athletics and the Rays, and some minor league stadium ballparks. Guys, it's a new look for these 2 ball clubs. What do you think of these 2 stadiums?
Who does not like watching baseball in the grass? And that's pretty much what it's been like lately at these ballparks. And I don't hate it for half the teams. The A's, their ballpark is abysmal. The Sacramento ballpark is just not right. They had drones falling out of the sky. The press box is like the size of this desk. I mean, it's just not a good place. Now, on the other hand, believe it or not, the Tampa Bay Rays, you heard it right, the Tampa Bay Rays are actually playing in Tampa, and look at that. Their attendance is through the roof. They're having sold-out games, and this is a team that we see has had the worst attendance in baseball, and they keep on. It's because they live in St. Pete. Who lives in St. Pete and wants to go watch a Tampa Bay Rays game? That's been the biggest problem here, and I think that this field in Tampa Bay has been really good for them because they have actually had attendance.
Yeah, I like Tampa Bay because they had no choice. They had to go play somewhere. They don't have a stadium right now. Losing, their usual stadium to Big Hurricane, not having a roof on it anymore, which it wasn't. Tropicana Field is a whole other story. It's a terrible stadium. But then you look at the A's. Their situation, this could have been solved 5 years ago. They could have done this. They could have made the deal for Las Vegas. They could have been in Las Vegas 2 years ago and been just fine. But instead, their owner, John Fisher, decides he doesn't want to pay money, and now he wants to pay money. He's one of the richest owners in baseball, doesn't want to pay anybody, and then now he has to play in one of the worst fields in even minor league baseball.
I mean, but at least for the A's, they're getting a new stadium in Las Vegas. The Rays, the probability is they might just go back to Tropicana and play there for years to come. The Rays, I think we all think, need a brand new stadium that's actually in Tampa Bay because their fan base, that's where it's at. It's not in St. Pete, like you said, Charles.
The Rays are so irritating because it is. I mean, I said it and I'm going to say it again. Hurricane Milton hitting Tropicana Field was God's divine justice for that baseball field. I mean, that Tropicana Field is disgusting. I've been there multiple times and is not a good baseball field. And no one in St. Pete cares. And I heard some, obviously Tampa and St. Pete, they're pretty close. But once again, it's the Tampa Bay Rays. Why they're not in Tampa Bay, one of the bigger cities in Florida, is just marvelous to me. And now we're looking at a team like the A's, one of the more passionate fan bases. And the state of Oakland, not the state, the city of Oakland has been absolutely just destroyed in their sports team. And now they're going to Vegas where they're going to have no fans because no one is going to go to Vegas games. We've seen it with the Raiders. This is and if you're Manfred from the MLB, you just cannot allow things like this to happen. You cannot allow owners that are greedy and use this as an investment and not are actually passionate about the teams kill these baseball franchises.
Yeah, you go back to the Tampa Bay Rays. They had a new stadium lined up. They were this close to signing it, this close. And they decided to withdrew from the proposal, not get it, and now we're looking at possibly they're going to play back in one of the worst stadiums in baseball. Not one of the worst stadium in baseball. Then you go to the A's. Yes, moving to Las Vegas has a big market. But is it really a big baseball market? I think Oakland was one of the best baseball markets for them because it's all they had was a baseball team, and now I just don't see it making much sense.
And you know what one of the more funny things is about that stadium that the Rays were building? Guess where that was at too? St. Pete. They can't get it in their head that St. Pete is not the answer. And hopefully, they make no money. I think the fans need to start doing what the A's did of boycotting games because if the Rays were not good, they would not have anyone show up. They don't even sell out playoff games. So that's where I feel like they're at right now, and it really is really disappointing to see these teams in these stadiums. But speaking of disappointing, let's look at the Atlanta Braves because they suck. Jace, talk about it.
Yeah, the Braves are 0-7 right now. They got swept by the Dodgers and the Padres in back-to-back series. Obviously, no Acuna, and their pitching Strider is also out currently with injuries. The injuries are having a massive impact, but they just genuinely cannot hit right now. Ozuna's having problems. The entire batting order's having problems. Obviously, it's two tough series with San Diego and LA, but they couldn't even get one win.
Yeah, and we're talking about injuries, we're talking about batting issues. Let's talk about something outside of it. Jurickson Profar getting suspended for 80 games for being on a pregnancy hormone. I don't even know how that got there. I don't know how that happened, but Jurickson Profar was against the PED rules in he spent a summer with Fernando Tatis in the Dominican Republic, and obviously we saw he took some advice from Fernando Tatis, who was also suspended for PEDs. And Jurickson Profar came out, had one of the best seasons of his career, got signed to this massive contract for the Braves, and now is out for 80 games. The Braves are rough, and they're in one of the best divisions in baseball with the, I almost said the Nationals, with the Mets and the Phillies. They are in a really bad situation. And fun fact of the day, not a single team that has ever started 0-7 have made the playoffs in MLB history. And they're now 0-7. It's going to be a rough comeback for the Braves.
Yeah, let's talk about these injuries. First, Sean Murphy has a cracked left rib. He'll be back in the end of the month. Ronaldo Lopez, one of their top relievers, he's out to be determined. Don't know when he's going to be back. Strider, he's out till mid-April. Acuna, he's out till the first half of May. Joe Jimenez has a left knee surgery. We don't know if he's going to be back in the year at all. And then Nacho Alvarez Jr., again, mid to April. Again, you losing all of your top players. And then you lose Jurickson, who your big signing free agent was. You just don't have anything anymore. I mean, Jurickson knew he was going to get suspended. I think this is known before the season. They tell you months in advance so you can appeal. He got tested last year, so this seems like it has to be a newer thing to him. He had a great year last year, and now, the Braves are just falling down this cliff, and it's going to be hard to come back down 0-7, but there's plenty of games left, and we'll see. Excited to see what they can do.
And we've seen money thrown around the MLB like it's nothing. Another deal has been made as Jackson Merrill, the Padres center fielder, gets a 9-year, $165 million deal with the Padres. Just a rookie last year, the Rookie of the Year runner-up behind Paul Skeens in the NL. But this guy has been nothing short of spectacular for the Padres so far.
He's a dog. That's the biggest way to look at him. And some people have had the argument of he did not get paid enough for what he's worth. And there is the argument to be had. Yes, $165 million for 9 years is pretty big money. But this is also a guy that could make close to 300. And that is obviously the argument. But he said it best. He said that this is a team that has taken care of him and his family since he's been drafted, and he does not care about the money. I mean, $165 million is plenty of money. I mean, let's be honest. He does not need to make $300 million. He just wants to ink it so he can be there for the rest of his career. And that, to me, is a real baseball player, a man that wants to be a part of that franchise. And I think that the Padres are in very good hands with Jackson Merrill in the outfield. I think it's going to be really nice to see.
This can be a great signing for the Padres. If he stays healthy for his entire career, he will be a top player, one of the best Padres in history, I believe. I just don't see.
Not a big list, but yeah.
I understand why Merrill does it. Now he's going to get paid no matter what. He gets $135 million guaranteed over the next 9 years, no matter what happens to his career. I think this is a great deal for both, but we're going to look back at this and be like, he could have had more, or we're going to look back at this and say the Padres overspent to a player that's not going to play it. It's just one of those ways that's not going to work out for one side.
And this follows a trend that we've been seeing that has been really interesting for me, of small markets signing their big players in the middle of the year. Ketel Marte just signed an extension. Brent Rooker and Lawrence Butler signed extensions at the end of the year. I mean, these big players and these smaller market teams, they are inking them as soon as they physically can because baseball, and Bobby Witt for 2 years ago signing that massive deal. I mean, baseball has taken a turn where it's no longer the big spenders winning every championship unless you're the Dodgers. And I think that these teams realizing like, hey, if we do not spend all of our money on this player the second that we can, the Dodgers or the Yankees are going to come steal them. So, I mean, it's the biggest, like, the biggest what if is, you know, you got to keep them because no one wants to play in Kansas City when they can go play for the Yankees. No one wants to play in San Diego when they can go play for the Yankees or the Dodgers. So, I mean, it's one of the bigger things is lock down those players, make sure they're there for you 8 to 9 years. So then if they do leave, you have to trade them and you are at least getting value instead of a big team poaching them away. I like it a lot. I like this new trend.
And he's batting .417 right now, and he's one of many batters in the NL West batting above 400 so far. The NL West is going absolutely insane. Dodgers 8-0, Padres 7-0, Giants 5-1, Arizona, well, they're there, and the Rockies, well, we don't got to talk about the Rockies. But so far, the NL West is doing phenomenal, guys. What are we seeing from this division so far? It's just been so good.
I love and hate, but kind of love, whenever teams are as advertised. I mean, if you're going to tell me that the NL West is going to be a good division, it better be a good division. I want to be excited. I want the hype to be real. It's like watching a movie trailer and it being bad, like the movie being bad. So, I mean, we're looking at this. This was supposed to be the best division of baseball. And now we're looking at, like you said, Dodgers 8-0, Padres 7-0, San Francisco's 5-1. I mean, these are some great divisions that are playing great baseball. The Dodgers, you know, spent their way to victory. The Padres, they look great. And the Giants, you know, they've had some pretty good series, but they just made the Astros look silly. And the Diamondbacks are a team that they would be way higher if they did not go against teams like the Cubs and the Yankees to start off their season. So, I mean, and the Rockies, like we said, we don't talk about them. So there's 4 teams that are realistic playoff contenders in one division. That is entertaining baseball right there. That is what we want to see. That's what we pay to see. Reminds me of the NL Central back in the day whenever it was, you know, Cubs, Cards, and the Brewers going at it. Like, that was fun baseball. This is what I like to see right here.
Yeah, I like this. I like this a lot. I like seeing the Dodgers. I mean, the Dodgers and the Padres is turning into one of the biggest rivalries in sports currently. I mean, it's just back and forth. The teams do not like each other on either way you look at it. But either side, I mean, you look at here, I think Arizona's going to be better than what they are. I think the Giants are going to be worse than what they are right now. I just don't trust this Giants team as much as I do this Arizona team. They played a rough first 2 games with the Yankees and the Cubs. The Cubs played a very hard series. I just can't see this division ending out the way it is. I can see Colorado last. I can see Arizona either probably in that 3rd or 2nd spot.
We go from the beginning of the season with the MLB to the end of the season with the NBA MVP talk, playoff talk. We'll get to that next on Grand Slam Sports. It's been a tight race the last few weeks, and it's coming down to the wire for the most valuable player in the NBA. Is it Jokic? Is it SGA? The stats say, I mean, both of them deserve it very, very much. But Charles, Jackson, I know that you two disagree, so let's hear both sides of the story.
Yeah, I mean, 2 sides of the story, 2 major players and this is what is fun to see. Give me the man that is the reason why the refs get paid, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He has been doing phenomenal this season. I mean, he's averaging 33 points a game, 6 assists, 5 rebounds, and 9 free throw attempts. I mean, he has been amazing. And we talked about it last year. We had this exact same conversation, Josh Allen versus Lamar Jackson. I do not care what Jokic is doing. It is most valuable player. The Thunder are the best team in the league. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the best player on the best team in the league. And he's playing, I would say, close to equally as good as Jokic. I do think Jokic has the better stats. He will always have the better stats. But I do think that voters' fatigue will make him lose this one. I think that the fact that the Nuggets are really mediocre will help him lose this one. I think the fact that just the Thunder are one of the best teams that we've seen in a very long time and are championship favorites in the hardest conference, it's hard for me to put anyone above Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
It's hard for me to put anybody above somebody who is third in points, rebounds, assists, and steals. Doing everything offensively, defensively, helping your team win this game, win easily. When you are not playing the 11 games he has not played, the team has went 4-7. He's averaging over a triple-double, almost a 30-point triple-double, which is almost unheard of. And then you even go farther deeper into that. He had a 61-point triple-double. I mean, this guy can do it all. Pass, shoot. He's shooting from 3, and he's still shooting well. He's shooting over 40% from beyond the arc. And then from the field, he's almost 60, shooting 58% from the field.
I mean, we look at Jokic's stats this year, and they're actually better than his other MVP seasons, which is saying a lot about how good Jokic has been this entire season. But SGA is putting up historic numbers for a guard. This guy is the most consistent scorer we've ever seen in the NBA, putting up on average 30 points a night. That's just impossible to do in today's day and age with the NBA. But SGA, to me, is just a notch ahead of Jokic. I think it's going to come down to the voters are going to pick the players on the better team, and the Thunder are that better team. I mean, the Thunder just went 29-1 against the East this year. That one loss being to the Cleveland Cavaliers. That's insane stuff, and Shai has been the leader of that team. But if it comes down to, MVP, most valuable player, it's Jokic. Because Jokic, when he's out, the Nuggets are a whole different team. Shai, when he's been out, the Thunder have still looked pretty good. The Nuggets just, without Jokic, falter. But to me, Shai is the MVP this year.
I think the argument of most valuable player, when Shai's been out, the team's looked bad. Shai hasn't been out. He's missed 2 games.
But still.
The thing is, with Shai, I know we agree, but I think one thing that needs to be taken into account is how little Shai plays some games. He gets taken out by the third quarter because of whooping tail absolutely in Oklahoma. And it's pretty hard to keep that man in the fourth quarter, so they take him out by the third. I mean, me and my brother, we watching games in Florida, and we watch every single Oklahoma because he loves Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, knowing we started. And we'll watch them play, and that man did not play a single minute in any of the fourth quarter games while we were gone. Not one. Because they were winning by that much. Why would you play him? And that's one of the biggest things. This man is putting up 30 points a game in 3 quarters. I think that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a clear winner, and Jokic has already won, so it's going to be hard for voters to put anyone on that pedestal multiple times.
I think you kind of just proved Jace's point, though, in the fact that Jokic has to play every minute of every game to get through here. And to help his team kind of finish strong, he has to be there. He is the leader of this team. He is what this team has. And he's kind of their only offense at this point.
And the playoffs are coming up. In just about 2 weeks' time, we'll have playoff matchups. We'll have the play-in tournament. Exciting stuff in the NBA, but I want to talk about, our playoff matchups that are most intriguing. Charles, beginning with you, Lakers, Warriors. What do you see in that matchup?
Reliable. LeBron James, Steph Curry, our generation's matchup. I mean, this is our bird magic. I mean, we love seeing LeBron go against Curry, and you add on top of that the Doncic, being added to the Lakers now. And I think that this is going to be a very interesting series. The Lakers are leading 3-1 in this series whenever they've played 4 times. But every single time LeBron and Curry are on TV on the same court, good basketball happens. Curry is one of the only men in the world that can lead a team to do immeasurable things in the playoffs. The other man in the world is LeBron James. I mean, this is going to be a great playoff series. And I do think the Lakers are going to take it if it does happen. But as of right now, this is my most hyped up playoff series. I want to see Lakers versus Golden State.
Yeah, I went with a different route. I went Nuggets, Timberwolves. I like this Jokic. I like this Ant matchup that they kind of have here. But more than I'm focused on is that the fact that Timberwolves have beaten Denver 4 times already in this season. 2 close games, 2 blowouts. But still, they've won. But this team in the playoffs, this Denver team in the playoffs, is something different. We've seen it before. We've seen Jamal Murray figure out how to play basketball once it comes playoff season. We've seen Jokic drop triple-doubles. Doesn't matter who he's playing against or who's guarding him. This team is something different in the playoffs.
And I know that we don't talk much fighting on Grand Slam sports, But this series, Pacers-Pistons, would be the epitome of fighting because there will be at least, on average, 5 fights a game. These two teams hate each other ever since the Mouse at the Palace years and years ago, and this would be probably the most entertaining first-round matchup. The Pacers won the season series 3-1 against the Pistons, but these two teams, they've played close a few times this year. It would be a great matchup. Hallie versus Cade, argument for the point guard, best point guard in the East. A lot of matchups in that game, Pacers and Pistons. But next week, we'll be one step closer to finding out who's playing who in the NBA playoffs. Thanks for watching Grand Slam Sports.